Welcome back. This is Rubbin Minds. Before we went on a break, we were talking about how we can all survive, with the current realities of the economy. We also focused on how small businesses, micro, small, and of course, medium-scale businesses can thrive even with everything that is happening. To be honest, with all that is happening, a lot of people are stressed. And if there's anything I love Nigerians for is despite all we're going through, we still find some amount of light at the end of the tunnel. But it's becoming hard to see that light, because how would you party or how would you ease stress when you do not have the resources to do so? I don't know about you, but I can't remember the last time I actually went to a proper restaurant. Before the full increase, I'll go to a 5 restaurants and spend some naira. But now I can't do that because I'll calculate the amount of fuel that it would take me to get there, and I'll change my mind. So that leads me to our next topic for the conversation, which is how can we flex on a budget, Niger style? And it's a very important conversation because we all need to keep sane and stay happy despite all that is happening. Joining me in the studio is Seyi Olaniyan, the founder of Yellow Life. My brother, how you doing?
I'm very fine, thank you so much.
You don't look like you are buying fuel at 500 naira.
Yeah? I mean, if you're in Nigeria, obviously you know that you have to, you have to fulfill the all righteousness and buy everything that's there.
Okay, so before we go into the nitty-gritty, before you give us the master class on how we can still have fun on a budget, how important is it for Nigerians to ease out stress? Because a lot of people, they are just focused on work, making money, and it's just affecting them mentally. So how is it important to find a way to ease out stress every now and then?
First and foremost, thank you so much for the question. I think it's something that a lot of people always, probably like conflict with each other, especially when they hear the word enjoyment. Everybody believes that enjoyment or fun is just having to go to club or go to parties and just go and jump and here and there. And I'm a philosopher of, you have to understand that the moment at the points that you are not thinking about your worries and you are quite at peace, it can be a moment of enjoyment for you, because enjoyment is really for everyone. If you hold a PS pad and you're playing game and you're there for 2 hours with a bottle of wine, maybe like a 2,500 wine or 1.5, and you're having fun and you're jamming, a song.
Precisely.
Do you get, at that point, you're not thinking about anything and you're having the best time of your life. And do you get what I'm saying? But a lot of us are actually moved away from there and feel like, okay, the only way I can enjoy is having to go to a hotel and go and probably, buy, spend a lot of money or probably go to club, and it's relative. But people need to understand enjoyment is not as deep as we all think it is. You can be in your home and have the best time of your life.
Okay.
So how you can unstress, just find the best way that is very easy for you to unstress your stress.
Okay, let's talk specifics. Especially in Lagos, where we both live. An average employee that is not living close to his or her place of employment will probably spend barest minimum 4 hours on the road,
like last weekend.
Every single day. Barest minimum, right? So how important is that work-life balance? And how can Lagosians, especially, I'm being specific, how can we adapt to work-life balance even though it's hard? I know of somebody that works from Monday to Saturday. The only day he or she has off is just on Sunday, right? So for such an individual that constantly works, how can the person sort of imbibe the culture of work-life balance?
So, because I don't want to waste much of time, right? This topic is quite very broad. We have the remote workers, we have 9 to 5, the one that I just make an example of, and we have the ones that, they work hybrid, Thank God for COVID, it kind of make work very easy. But I think for 9 to 5, that work from Monday to Saturday, to be very honest, work-life balance is very difficult because you wake up as early as 4, get home by 11 p.m. I was there, I've been there. And at that time, even Sunday is no time because you go to church from morning, afternoon. Literally, the main time you have is to iron. The only advice I have for those people is every 1 hour or 2 hours that you have, maximize it for yourself.
What can they do in those 1-2 hours?
In those 1-2 hours, I mean, like I said, fun to you can be watching TikTok. You know, fun can be easy. Maybe just walk to a nearer place close to your office to go and maybe probably eat and just relax your head. You know, work-life balance doesn't have to mean that you have to have fun. It's just the moment you have peace. That moment you're not thinking about KPIs and deadlines. You're not thinking about your client. The moment and work-life balance is not just only even peace. It's about having time for your family.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm being as realistic as possible. How can you have peace when you have children's school fees to pay?
Well, I mean,
they've increased your children's school fees. Your mother in the village is calling you, telling you that your grandmother swallowed spoon and they need 5 million naira to operate it. How can you have peace?
So now there's one between life problems and work problems. You can't say that every Nigerians are always going through life problems. At the time that you're not going to life problems, how do you balance your work? Let's see if you're being realistic. I mean, of course, when you are facing challenges in terms of maybe, let's say, you have school fees to pay, all of that, that is that. At that point, you have to endure to face the crisis because there's nothing you can do at that point in time. But now, let's now remove life crisis. Let's even talk about the reality of 9-to-5 worker, that the only thing you think about is work.
Right.
When you wake up in the morning and the only thing you're thinking about at that point in time is work. Now, how do you do yourself from 9 to 5 p.m.? Averagely, psychologically, every 9 to 5 hours, they don't even work from 9 to 5 straight. Some of them gist. From that 9 to 5, they gist from like maybe 10 to 12. And some of them work from this. And some of them are shut down from even 4 p.m. But the most important thing is that now, how do you maximize those time to your own effect, to your own advantage? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. That some people have not spoken with to their mother or to their family member because there isn't the excuse of, I don't have time at all. Meanwhile, the 10 minutes you're spending with Emeka to talk about Man U and Chelsea, you can use that 5 minutes out of it to speak to your mom. Mom, I'm checking up on you.
Right.
And you've done that. Work-life balance is broader than enjoyment. It's about healthcare, your body, how you take care of yourself, your family, how do you check up on them? You know, all of those things, they are all embedded. Now, when family crisis now comes in, then now, you have to take a pause because now you have work problems, you have family crisis, and, everything's all jam-packed together. But it's very possible. But I'm not saying that it's going to be effective. I'm not saying that it's going to be accurate as a remote worker that literally you don't have to face the traffic. Right. You are in control most of your time, aside from the timeline you have. Right.
Yeah. I think you've said something very profound, and I think every single person watching this should really imbibe what you've just said. And I think people just get into the whole mental space of having to give excuses and saying there is no time. So people do not create enough time for their families, and they always fall back to, I'm busy at work. So please, as much as possible, create time for your loved ones, because at the end of the day, family is what matters the most, right?
It's the key.
So thank you so very much for that.
You're welcome.
At this point, I even feel like interrupting the show to just call my mother and tell her, how are you doing? But we need to go on with the show, right? Okay, so now we've talked about what work-life balance really is. And even though you don't have resources, try to maximize your time. So time here is really the currency.
It's key.
Fantastic. Now, let's go to enjoyment. Gone. Let's say I have 20,000 naira to flex for the weekend, and I really want to have fun. Can you give me a rundown of how I can spend 20,000 naira? Let's use Lagos as a case study, because I think things are cheaper in other places of Nigeria. I stand to be corrected. But how can I slay Niger-style 20,000 naira budget? Just give us a
So weekend is relative. Are you saying from Friday to Sunday or just one day in weekend?
From the entire, from Friday.
Entire weekend.
Yes, Friday night to Sunday. Just give me what I can do with 20,000 naira.
I mean, it's very dicey, right? Because now fuel has increased and so many things are very expensive now. But I'm just going to give you a logic example. I've said it before. So imagine on Friday, as you're coming from work, you branch into a mall and you get a bottle of wine. You get 2 bottles of wine, to be precise, but 2 bottles of wine, cookies, and you just box something worth of 10,000 naira. And you now, also go and buy turkey and all of that. Let's say at the end of the day, you have 15K. Now you're in your house, right?
Wait, so let me get this straight. The bottle of wine, Turkey, is how much?
Yeah, if you have, I don't want to mention brand name, but I believe that I still bought 2 bottles of wine that did cost me up to 9,000 naira.
Okay.
Right? And Turkey, half kilo is, I don't know how it is, but I know that with 15K.
Okay, so 15K is gone.
Yes, for yourself.
Okay.
And you're in your house.
So remaining 5K?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, if you are now so blessed and you have a PS4, now you know that the only thing you have to do is set a timeline for yourself. From this time to this time, I want to engage myself in this competition and Netflix afterwards, you know, and that is home enjoyment. Okay. Now, if you want to now have the
We're actually out of time. Just take about 60 seconds to wrap up.
So if now wants to like a normal enjoyment, Friday to Sunday to be honest, 20K, except that you're going to share right with your friends and go to club or probably like, I mean, interestingly, there are a couple of activities now that they are very easy. They are not really expensive. A cocktail of 4K, you are good for the night. Or you have friends that, you know, they party a lot. And they share drinks with you. There's a lot, but I hope I have the time to explain this, but, you know, there's no more time to explain.
Thank you so very much, and it's really a very important conversation to have, especially at times like this. Whatever you do, no matter how hard the country is, make sure you watch out for your mental health. Make sure you find peace despite all of your family problems. Thank you very much, Sheyi.
Thank you so much for having me.